Many thanks for staying tuned. It's still the conversation here on Lagos Television. Last week, Thursday, members of the Green Chamber talking about the House of Representatives passed 4 bills, namely the Nigerian Tax Bill, the Tax Administration Bill, the Revenue Tax Board Bill, and the Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill. All 4 bills, they gave a nod to pass before members of the House of Representatives. And if all news, what we heard last week, hopefully by this week or at the latest next week, members of the House of Representatives would give a final passage to that bill, and it will be sent to Mr. President for assent after the ratification by the senators as well. But again, let's look at what these bills have to offer Nigerians. You remember that before Thursday, there have been so many issues surrounding the passage of these bills, where a lot of Nigerians also felt that rather than be a positive, the bill was going to impoverish several regions in the country. But we've heard that's on the contrary, that won't be the case. But biggest last week of what was also done was the retention of the value-added tax at 7.5%. And so that's part and some other issues we'll be taking a look at on the program today. And we do have the Managing Director and the CEO, Capital Plus Management Limited, Oluwaseyi Odufuwa, who's joining us in the studio this morning. Thank you for being on the program today.
Thank you for having me.
And I know that when you came in, you did ask, how is the economy? So perhaps a good way to start will be, let's quickly take your opinion. Yesterday, again, we heard from the NBS a drop in the inflation rate for February. And, layman us, we did say that that again has not translated to a proper drop of prices in the market, even though the NBS did say that the cost of food, the cost of gas, some of the prices that actually cost a major drop in the inflation rate. But for you, I know that definitely it's some piece of good news for you. But at what point do we as Nigerians begin to see the inflation rate have a positive impact on the prices of goods and services?
Okay, so the last time I came, and we had a positive trajectory or a position that inflationary trends will drop. And we also said that for us to achieve a $1 trillion economy, we believe that there has to be a rebasing because it had been done during Jonathan's period. And according to IMF, every 10 years, a country is expected to rebase its economy. And after rebasing, we saw that inflationary trends dropped from about 38%, it shed to about 24%. And it's coming down. The food inflation, which was about 41% of aggregate inflation, also dropped to about 24% as we speak. And so, look at inflationary trends. Budget proposal is 15%, though I feel that it's going to be a tall order to achieve 15% by December 2025. But look at food. When you say that Nigerians are not feeling it, I'm a little bit amazed because we've had several discussions with Nigerians, and Nigerians agree that food prices have reduced by 15 to 20%. Yes.
Can you name some markets?
I don't go to the market, but you know, we understand the commodity market, and so I know very clearly that food inflation has reduced and the prices of foodstuffs has dropped virtually. Okay, if you want me to give you an example, there was a time I went to a supermarket in Lekki and I saw tubers of yam. You know, I know it used to cost about 6,000, 7,000 before now. I was shocked when I saw it at 3,000, the same size of tuber. And I was asking, when did this thing come down? They said in the last 2 months, which, you know, tends to go with our projections too, and the season. Thank you. And so prices of foodstuff is dropping, and that's basic, and Nigerians know that. Yes, we know that we expect that other forms of our daily life should be affected too, but you know, as we have said it several times, that by the towards the end of 2025, going into 2026, Nigerians will begin to feel it fully. Right. But as we speak, all the parameters on paper are working positively, and we believe strongly that we'll get there. The last time I was in these studios, price of crude at the global market was around 75. Yes, it has dropped to around 69, 70 as we speak, but we were pumping about 1.6 million barrels. Our project about 1.4 million barrels. Our projection is about 2 million barrels to 2 million and 6,000 barrels. But as we speak, we are pumping about 1.9 million barrels, which is affecting FX positively. Right. That's inflow of FX positively. Look at our foreign reserve, about $39 billion that we have there, and that affects our level of balance of trade. So Nigeria is moving as an economy.
Before we jump on the main topic for today, which is the tax reform, of course, the effort of the House of Reps. Yes. From your analysis so far this morning, does that give you the hope that the economy for 2025 will be better than 2024? Oh,
definitely. I want to assure you that the trajectory is going on well. 2025 is going to be a very positive year. We have started very rightly. The budget prospect, the budget template is well streamlined. And going into the tax reform, that is a major master stroke that Mr. President has looked at. Look at, in the last 50 years, we had not had a single reform in our tax administration system. So Mr. President has deemed it fit that we need to rejig all aspects of our laws. In fact, like she mentioned earlier, it was broken down into 4 aspects. And those 4 aspects touches every aspect of our tax administration, whether company income tax, whether petroleum tax, whether personal income tax, whether education tax, and every of our income head in terms of tax administration. And if you look at it, this reform favors Nigerians as citizens far more, and that is the beauty of it. Well, we could say that because of adequate sensitization, most especially in the northern region, you know, it caused a lot of brouhaha. But when everybody sat down, looked at it holistically, we know that, yes, this is the way to go. And that's the only way we'll achieve a $1 trillion economy. Okay. This tax reform will boost FX supply. This tax reform will help in achieving budget deficit. We have about 13.3 trillion deficit for 2025. This tax reform will help us to achieve it. This tax reform will bring succor to many Nigerians in terms of, I'm talking of the masses, the low-income earners too. They are fully exempted from this tax administration. They are not going to pay income tax. Anything above 800,000 below, anything above will now be staggered in terms of proration. And so, who is it going to benefit? Average Nigerians. And that is the vision of Mr. President. The beautiful thing also is that it's going to transcend beyond. So going forward now from 2025, this tax reform bill will help subsequent governments in terms of adequate laws that have been put in place to manage tax administration, to collect more taxes, dispute resolution, and even technology enabled for you to collect tax, and also to allow Nigerians to know what am I going to pay, when am I going to pay, how am I going to pay. Those bottlenecks have been solved in this tax administration bill.
Yeah, I like how you brought up the issue of expectations that
Yes.
going forward, this new bill should help successive administrations.
Yes.
But you know, we're a very dynamic set of people in Nigeria,
Yeah.
and oftentimes we also always have this policy somersault.
Yes.
Do you think that these bills have made adequate arrangement to ensure that an administration will not come tomorrow and overturn all of the beautiful things that you've stated that these bills are able to accommodate and take charge of?
Well, we can only speak for a present government.
True.
And the best thing the government can do is to ensure that these laws are enacted.
Right.
And you cannot rule away the aspect of politics. And Nigerians as a whole, and that's why our voices must be heard. When the hearing was done, that's a public hearing, we sent representatives. Okay. We also sent position papers too. And they were all taken, and that is the power of the citizens. So whoever is going to come after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, after his 8 years in office.
After his 8 years, okay.
You've already concluded that you're going to spend 8 years.
Projections. After his 8 years in office, you know, whoever is coming, we have to deal with the people too. Look at, and that's the beauty of democracy. When he proposed this law in October 2024, you look at the how do I put it now? The voices, diversified voices. Right. You know, and you know, that's democracy. People from the north felt shortchanged. They felt that it was going to affect them. Everybody discussed. There were conversations. And that's why when everybody understood it very well, you know, it didn't take time.
Right,
you know, everybody bought into it because we now know that, you know, it is for the masses. We now know that, you know, Mr. President has a lot of compassion for Nigerians, and this is the way to go.
Okay, let's speak to the 7.5 VAT, which was retained by the House of Reps member in this particular bill. Yes. Ideally, the Taiwo Oyedele committee suggested that it should be increased over the years to 15% by 2020. Yeah. But the House of Reps retained it at 7.5. And there's a particular section of the VAT system which was also revised to ensure that Section 22, precisely, to ensure that taxable supplies are attributed to their places of consumption irrespective of where returns are filed, addressing the concern of regional imbalance. I want you to speak to this in such a way that a layman who is watching us right now will understand the balancing of this VAT system.
Okay, so I hope Taiwo Oyedele is listening so that he can pay for consultancy. And so that's a very beautiful aspect of this reform bill. You know that his committee was pushing for 15%. Were formerly paying 5%, and you know, House of Reps, in their compassionate disposition, put it at 7.5, which is quite considerable. And looking at it too, the derivation formula came into play, where federal government, I think about 10%, state government about 55%, and local government at 35%. And the beauty of this law now is that it goes directly to these arms of government. Before it goes to federal government, the share, in fact, federal allocation.
But it's still under contention anyway. Because
no, it will fly.
The governors are still saying that no.
It will fly.
Don't let the local government get this funds.
It will fly because Mr. President is a man of the people. Look at what he did on local government autonomy. He wanted, you know, direct access to your leaders. And that's why he signed it into law. And that was very bullish. And I tell you, it's going to happen too, where derivation formula will be upheld. every tier of government will get it directly, and they can use it. Go to advanced countries, it goes to them directly. In fact, your local government, which is your municipal area, you know, you report to them directly, and they take care of you directly. And so, going back to the 7.5% VAT, I think it's a very fair deal, and we have come to accept it. And you see, but for me, the beauty of this VAT tax is it's not more about